Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to do a fighter showcase on Wetwork, which is the one that you guys voted out of the other options. So Wetwork is the third diamond variant for Valentine that got released very recently. She's a water element with about 10.3k attack at max level, which makes her the second highest attacking Valentine in the game. The first, of course, being Tres Chic. Unlike Tres Chic, that requires crits to deal most of her damage, Wetwork relies on the amount of Enrage and the armor break and death mark that she can deal from her second signature ability. When knocking an opponent in the air, Valentine gains Enrage and the opponent suffers armor break and death mark for 7 seconds. Now this makes it very easy for Wetwork to start piling up those Enrage stacks and dealing massive amount of damage. However, 7 seconds is quite short, and therefore Wetwork works best with moves that deals a lot of burst damage, which means moves that can deal a lot of damage in one single hit with very few animations. Her first signature ability allows her to gain evasion every 1 second while charging a charge attack. In the past, Valentine was a bit too OP in Rift battles because players can spam her charge attack and the AI is unlikely to punish them. That strategy has now been nerfed, and enemies can punish you if you just keep spamming your charge attacks. However, Wetwork tries to incorporate that strategy into a signature ability by gaining evasion, allowing the player to dodge those punishes. This is quite powerful as it allows her to be really aggressive. Once she kills an opponent, when the next opponent comes in, quickly charge, deal a damage, and then use your counter venoms, all three of them, to deal a lot of burst damage with those enraged stacks. So for those of you who are interested in the nitty-gritty detail of Wetwork's ability, Knock Up involves a change of transition from a ground state to the knock up or air state. Sometimes, if the opponent is too high in the air and you knock them up further, it won't count because they haven't been counted as in a ground state, and therefore there's some detail there that you have to work out. I recommend a forum post that actually asks this question, and the developer has responded to this question, just so you are aware of situations where you might not get an enraged stacks, and there's an explanation behind that. So a few ways to do knock up. The first, of course, is a charge attack. It knocks up the opponent in the air, and you get an enraged stack. If you swipe up, it also get an enraged stack. But here, if I use a counter venom, because the opponent is still technically still in the air, and well, that didn't really knock them up further, it doesn't really count. And if I do a ground combo, air juggle to get an enraged stack, and then I use a checkmate incision, which knocks up the opponent again, I got another enraged stack. Furthermore, just notice that if I use 2 counter venoms here, the opponent hasn't really been knocked yet, so I've only gained 1 enraged stack. So you kind of have to be a bit more creative in the use of counter venoms. So let's talk about some of the moves choices here that I've chosen to equip. First off, we have the 2 counter venoms, which are strong blockbuster 1, which means they charge really fast, and they can be comboed into each other to make use of those enraged stacks. However, just know that using both in succession or a chain both together doesn't really work, and only grants you like 1 enraged stack, so you'll have to be a bit more smart to use it. Then we have Forbidden Procedure, and what I really like about this blockbuster is not only is it a high damage dealing blockbuster because it's a blockbuster 2, it's also very similar to Counter Venom is that it's a burst damage, and it flungs the opponent so high up in the air that if you use it, this will almost guarantee an additional enraged stack. Then we have Checkmate Incision, and this is sort of optional, but I really like this move as you can combo this along with your air juggle to potentially get 2 stacks of enrage depending on the character that you're facing. Finally, we have Mortuary Drop, and this is definitely something that is optional. You can change it to something else. However, I really like this because it allows you to be aggressive. Just note that the animation is really long for this move, and so sometimes using this when you have 2 stacks of enrage is not recommended. However, there are times where you just need to damage the opponent to save time, and Mortuary Drop being a command grab is still pretty good. You can easily change this to like a 3rd counter venom if you want. So before we get into the gameplay, I just want to say that Wetwork's core strength here is those enrage stacks and armor break. Each of those buffs and debuffs gives 20% more damage. More enrage stacks means more damage, and armor break of course allows you to deal 20% more damage while also nullifying the armor stacks. So here's a rough overview of the stats. As you can see, I have a lot of piercing, almost max, and more than 100% of attack, so I am dealing already a lot of base damage with this set. And I really like this. So now, let's get over to the gameplay. Alright, so gameplay, we're in Streak 30 of Misfortune's Diamond Prize Fight, where the opponent has 150% bonus attack and health. So we'll see how much damage he can actually deal, and we'll climb up till Streak 40. Maybe. Depends on how fast I can actually clear this fight. So we're gonna start with a ground combo here, and possibly a juggle. Okay, I have enough for checkmate incision, so let's do that again. Getting 2 stacks of Enrage. Oh god. No! Big Ben's character ability actually coming clutch there for the AI. So let's kill that. Charge attack to gain some evasion. Nice. Another charge attack to gain another evasion. And this should kill. Nope, it didn't. Nice. I think it goes without saying, but if you're using any kind of offensive Valentine, you always want ICU as your marquee ability. So let's use the checkmate incision here, get 2 stacks of Enrage. And this counter Venom's gonna deal a lot of damage. 60% bonus damage there from the Enrage and Armor Break. Wow. I'm just steamrolling through these teams. Does this hit? No, it misses. Okay, oh shoot. Oh, that dealt way too much damage. Thankfully, but Valentine's character ability helping us here with the heal. And since, let's use this. Kill 1, charge attack. Get that evasion. 3 stacks of Enrage. Counter Venom dealing tons of damage there. Let's do another one. Followed by Forbidden Procedure. Not quite dead yet. But I've got 2 stacks of evasion here. So I can just spam my charge attack again and again. And not have to worry about getting punished. Okay, now it's our turn to fight. Let's knock the opponent in the air. Use checkmate incision. Getting 2 stacks of Enrage. I'm just gonna use Mortuary Drop here to deliver the final blow. Charge attack. Getting that evasion. 2 stacks of Enrage is pretty good to kill the whole thing. Wow. Oh my god. Okay, I'm not gonna be honest, that last game was not the best gameplay for Wetwork. I panicked there a bit. Okay, so here's a tip. A grab followed by a charge attack is actually enough to get that 1 stack of evasion before the opponent gets up. Oh wow. I'm just mowing down these enemies. Alright, so I did say that Wetwork is a bit more skill intensive, but though from the way I'm playing it, I'm actually just playing this very simply, and I'm already dealing quite a lot of damage here. So maybe you don't have to be like a technical expert. Get that Enrage stack, 2 stacks of Enrage with Armor Break, dealing 55k. Could be better. Okay. Let's get another stack of Enrage from Checkmate Incision, maybe? Oh no. That Beowulf was a bit too high, so I couldn't get one. Standout. Getting rid of our evasion stacks. Oh, I didn't know why I did that. That was a mistake. So this is a really good example of like Wetwork's weakness. Is that she relies so much on her Enrage stacks that against variants like Standout that eats it up, her power just goes down drastically. Alright, oh shoot, I missed.
Going down.
So let's go with the charge attack here to get our evasion. While the opponent is stunned. I'm dealing tons of damage there.
Don't make me laugh.
It's super effective.
Now we're ready to. Don't even try.
Oh god. Okay, finally we got an opening. Attack by decision, 2 stacks of enrage, charge attack.
Together. Want a bandage?
Okay, 3 stacks of evasion is pretty good. We can just keep going.
Don't make me laugh. No place.
I think we have enough damage to kill this Assassin's Creed.
Patch it right up. Don't make me laugh.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Did you miss me?
So as you can see here, you're mostly gonna be in the range of 2 enrage stacks and maybe 3.
Overwhelming victory.
Now we're ready to operate. Oh, you wish.
Okay. So you'll see from all of my gameplay so far that you'll most likely be sitting on 2 stacks of enrage, or maybe even 3. But usually not more than that. But that's usually enough to kill the opponent.
Don't make me laugh.
Unless you're facing against something really tanky like Dream Ban or Splitting Image or something like that.
Did you miss me?
And of course, I'm dealing a lot of damage here because of the modifier giving me precision hits, and that gives me another 40% crit damage. Just so that you're aware.
Been through worse.
Oh, that evasion saved me.
Just perfect.
Now let's see what makes you.
Anyway, yo, so that is gonna be it for this video. So if I can conclude my final thoughts on Wetwork, I think she's a pretty strong diamond, almost on par with Tres. The only downside is that her water element makes her deal slightly less damage against light variants, which are common defenders. However, her build art is very similar to Tres. Giving her a bit of crit rate and crit damage could really amplify her damage further, as evidence from that gameplay right there. I got some precision, which guarantees critical hits, and because I have some crit damage, about 47%, it amplifies the damage further, and also because the enemies have death mark, I'm also dealing that extra damage from that as well. It can amplify a lot with some crit. You'll also notice from the gameplay that I'm mostly in the range of 2 to 3 stacks of enrage, which is usually more than enough to kill the opponent, especially with the armor break as well. However, be wary of really tanky opponents, as Wetwork has no way of dealing with buffs. So if you are facing a Dream Band with a lot of regeneration and you can't get rid of that, please do equip a tag out, or else you might just be doomed. Wetwork's primary role is a damage dealer. She doesn't have that much utility aside from that. However, she is still a very good diamond variant if you ever pull her in the beginning. So with that said, I'm gonna end it here. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you all have a nice day ahead, and I'll see you in the next video.